All right, red lights on. Just in the nick of time here. Old Grimy was in the background there messing with his headphones, still on Canadian time. So that's all right. We got you in here just before. What's up, man? What's the
I
good
told
word
you
up
I'd be
there?
on time today. I cleared the maple syrup off my clock and managed to get here just in the nick of time.
I mean, splitting hairs again here. That's all right.
That's life around my place. There's always something coming up.
Dude, same. I mean, once you have kids and a job, and it's like nothing goes according. There's always something. Literally, always
Those
something going
damn
on.
kids.
Yeah, love them, love them, love them. But man, it's always something. So
Yes.
that's all right. We tonight we're gonna do a little chatting. Of course, y'all know I partnered up with Tackle Warehouse. I've been with them for some time. I noticed they had a good sale, and Frank and I had been talking earlier about doing just a stream on spinning reels, and I was like, well, let's go over some of the sales because they've got some good sales. Of course, I leave my link, the Tackle Warehouse link, down in the description below. Anybody that uses it, you don't have to, there's no code or anything. If you use it, anything you buy, a little bit of it comes back to me. It helps the channel out so I can do giveaways, because tonight there will be a spinning reel giveaway I'm doing. So we're going to look at a few baits. I was on there just kind of checking stuff. People were asking me if I'd looked at it, and I didn't even know what was going on yet. So I shared it and went in there and checked. So that's what we'll do. We'll go through some sale lures, some stuff that I would recommend. Ask any questions y'all have, and then we'll do some spinning reel talk. Maybe I've got a couple questions for everybody, and it will be interesting to see what other people think. So let's see. Basilisk says my volume is poor. Can you guys and gals hear me okay? Maybe
Sounds
it's your
good to me.
volume. Is your volume turned down? Let's see. Any other questions so far? Always got to thank my members, just like Mr. Chris Russ. The beard's looking girthy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shave it soon. It's getting a little wilderness looking. Let's see. Osama said, surprised how many Canadian folks show up for the live. I know, as much crap as I give them, especially for having 17 times the cost to ship stuff up there. It's all right. Wham Baits in the house. Speaking of the Canadians. Liza in there. She's been keeping the chat fun out there. All right, well, let's get into some sale lures. Yeah, oh, she is. She's always stirring the pot out there. So always appreciate the heck out of the. Well, here we've already got a question coming, Mr. Traxel. Always appreciate the heck out of the members, people that pay every month out of their hard-earned money to support me. I appreciate it. You don't have to pay. You don't have to become a member. Anybody that watches, likes the videos, leaves a comment, that's support enough. So don't think that you have to go that extra mile, but I do always want to shout them out. I love you guys for doing that. Okay, so real quick before we get into the shopping, is a more expensive rod mean it's more sensitive? Oh, so the higher you go in cost, does the rod get exponentially more sensitive? So the thing for me is there's a cutoff, and this is a video. There's a number of videos I've needed to do for a while. The SLX video, people wanted to see a comparison of all those. That's one I've had to do, I don't know how long. I still, to this day, get people asking me to do a backpack breakdown, and I've wanted to do it. I've sat down to do it. So I need to do a breakdown of like, okay, I'm getting ready for spring now. Here's what I have in my backpack. Here's kind of how I pack it. Here's some ideas, because people have asked me, I don't know how many times, how do you pack your backpack? How much do you bring? What should I? So we'll try to get that one out soon too. But so as you go up in price, I do believe there's diminishing returns once you get to a certain spot. Now I can't say because it's different for everybody. I think there's a definite difference once you get to that $100-ish price point. Once you get above that, I mean, for spinning reels, and that's honestly something I'm going to bring, or for rods, that's something I'm going to bring up for spinning reels too, is I don't go crazy expensive and don't think you need to go as expensive with spinning tackle. Now, a good rod to feel finesse stuff, drop shot bites, Ned rig bites is important, but I also always go braid to a leader on all of my spinning reels. So, I mean, once you put braid on a combo, it's, if you don't have a big budget and you say, okay, I've been throwing this combo with mono, I want to make it more expensive, what rod should I buy or whatever, put braid on it and go braid to a leader, because you will tell a definite step up in sensitivity. So I don't know. That's one that I could honestly do a whole live on, William. Maybe we will have to, but I don't know that helps. But if you're not using braid to a leader, I would say try it, because you will notice a definite increase in sensitivity. Cuda in the house, Mr. Tom Gross in the house. I appreciate you all stopping in. Scott Vermonter, all the good fellow names in here. Love it, love it, love it. Mr. Philip Cheek. Yeah, there were some people. I really thought that video would do better. My channel has been kind of dying, and I don't know if it's because of lack of consistency, but like I put that video out and I was hoping it would get, close to maybe 6, 7, 8,000 views by this time. It's got 3,000 views in a day. Like my stuff's kind of stalling, kind of sucking. So I need to step up the game, need to get more stuff out there. YouTube definitely likes people that don't have lives. And people that upload a lot of stuff and do a lot of YouTube things, they tend to promote that. So, or maybe my stuff just sucks and people don't care, but at least we got 190 people watching tonight. So I appreciate that. I'm going to store or ping some of these questions here and save them. I'm going to start into the sale stuff. If y'all are just joining, I said we're going to start out looking at some sale things. Tackle Warehouse. Of course, I am partnered up with them. I leave my link below in the comments. Click that. If you're going to buy anything, I would greatly appreciate it. Or if you're going to shop somewhere else, that's okay too. We talked last time. I still shop at all the other places out there. Okay, so I think 3 questions here I've got saved. So a couple people were asking me about some lures and stuff in here. Whoops, wrong button.
Oops.
We're asking me about some lures and stuff in here. So if you go to their homepage and go to the spring sale, I'm going to hit some of the reels real quick because these are some good ones. The ARC, funny enough, I didn't even know this. I didn't plan this. ARC reels are on sale. So if you like the review I did of the Gravity 5, or you're looking to try any of those Gravity reels, they're all on 25% off right now. Still have some of the old Tattoo 100s on sale, 33% off. You just kind of peruse through some of this. They've got some good sales. This one, honestly, people kind of talk crap about 13, I feel. And I don't know, Frank, have you heard anything more about them? Because they've been bought out by whoever it is that owns like Rapala and all that, right? Somebody was saying,
Correct.
I think it was, who is it?
Yeah. I wish I could remember, but Suffix and 13 Fishing, Rapala. I can't remember which other brands, VMC, all under the same umbrella. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that, there's some streamlining going on with their plastics. It started quite some time ago now. They were blowing everything out. So
yeah, I saw that too. So this, like, for example, this reel, it's a $150 reel, half off. Great reel. I've still got it. I don't know. I think it's the color that sucked and people didn't buy it. But...
yeah, I was going to get one too, but I figured that Heather would notice a bright green reel that just suddenly showed up. So
yeah, the color's rough.
That one past her into the house.
This, if you're looking for a good budget reel, the Abu Garcia Jordan Lee casting reel at $110, I wouldn't recommend it. At $45, absolute, that's a steal. It's just like the Max X. The Max X, I think, is one of the best budget reels right now. It's normally like, I think, $50. You can get on sale for like $35, but $44, great budget reel. Again, don't think it's worth $110. The Revo S at $59, great deal. Aluminum frame. It's just like the old, well, it is the old version, like the Revo X. Did I say X before? S, but it's just like the X, the previous, the black reel that they stopped making, the Gen 4. Good reel. They've got some other bait casters and stuff in here. Spinning reels, I don't want to show these. So I will say, maybe we'll kind of switch it up here and kind of go back and forth. Spinning reels, I personally don't feel like going way over $100-ish is needed. Now, I'm probably in the minority with that, and people say, "Oh, have you tried I don't even know what some of the, a Vanford or, some of these $200 plus $300 spinning reels." No, I really haven't. I need to. I want to try some just to see like how big of a difference it is, because I preach that in bait casters, that when I give you all my reviews and opinions and stuff, I kind of pride myself on trying all the different stuff to be able to talk through it, not being somebody that's like, "Oh, if you spend over $50 on a reel, you're an idiot. They're no better." It's like, "Oh, what reels over $50 did you use that you felt like that?" "Well, I haven't used any, but if you use any over 50, you're an idiot." It's like, well, you never use them. It's, it's hard to say that. So
my counter to that is, if you top out at 50, then you are spending your money wisely and being frugal, or you're cheap.
That's a different story. No. That's a different story. If you say my budget's 50 and that's all I can afford, completely different deal. But if you say, $200 reels are stupid, they're not any better, because people have made those arguments on my videos, and I've actually said that, like, "Okay, which ones did you use?" Like, "Well, I haven't." So it's like, how can you talk about that? It's like saying a Camaro is the biggest piece of crap muscle car ever. Anybody that owns one is an idiot. It's like, have you ever used one? Have you, I don't know. Maybe I'm just gripping.
That reminds me of a professor. When I was in my first year of university, he had his PhD in philosophy, but somehow he was a business teacher. And he would always go on about how Cadillacs, and I forget what other cars he compared them to, same parts. Well, maybe, but if you ride on the highway in one of them, it'll be quiet, and the other one, not so quiet. So there's a lot more to it than just it has all the same things. It's what they're made out of and how they put them together.
Yeah. Like, how do they do it? What are their tolerances? What does their quality control look like? Yeah. Agreed. But yeah, spinning reels, man, they've got some good deals. And honestly, people talk about the baitcaster game. Daiwa and Shimano are the two best. Luz, Abu, all these others suck. I kind of feel that way now that I've used a lot of the spinning reels. I don't agree with that in the baitcaster world at all. But I don't have a ton to match it on. And really, I guess I'm gonna kind of pick on Luz. I like the $70 Luz better than I tried a couple of the 120, the custom, and then another one that was over 100. I was not impressed with them at all. I like Luz baitcasters. Spinning reels, I was not impressed with at all. And it's interesting talking to some of these companies that make them. It's a lot easier to make a good spinning reel than it is a baitcaster, from what I've heard. So I don't know what all goes into that, how that works out, because cleaning a spinning reel is a pain in the arse, and I hate doing it, and I just really don't.
Definitely.
But baitcasters are easy. So, but anyway, yeah, any of these under $99. I mean, I have the Laguna, Daiwa Laguna, which is like regular 50. This is the Exceller, marked down from $100. The Revros, the RG, which I think is on sale. Yeah, the Regal. All these are great spinning reels. So if you're looking for a spinning reel, I would highly recommend any of those at that price. The Shimano Twin Power, that one's only $329. Grab one of those. But like the Procyon, it's an aluminum reel, $112. So there's a lot of good deals out there. I ended up getting one of these at like 50% off, $100 a long time ago. And it's a good reel. But yeah, some good sales out there on those. We'll look at some lures here, because that's really what people were picking my brain on. They've got rods on sale and stuff too, but just looking at some of the lures, if you're looking for some lure sales out here, and I was just kind of cruising, can you do it by price? Oh, you can.
Yep.
You can do low to high price, because I was looking at some of these. Yeah, some of these things are like 50-something% off. So they got some dingers, super cheap if you're looking for some of those. Some Yum and Tequila Sunrise jumping out at me here. So I've got a number of worms here. I don't remember if I had any worms that I was looking at specifically. Cuttail worms, if you never tried a cuttail worm, if you have a grassy lake, great to throw. Swim those around like a finesse little Texas rig. Let's see what else. Let's see if chat has any questions too on any plastics or anything. I didn't get to try these. I haven't seen
any questions yet.
I do like these. These are like the Zoom. I've used the Zoom ones of these. Zoom has one, the Zoom Z crawl worm or something. I forget what they call it. But I did really like that. I've not tried the Strike King version. Yama Tanuki is one I definitely want to mess with more.
I really like that bait.
Yeah, it's interesting. A very interesting bait. This is one I was disappointed in, was the Slinko. It's a floating bait, and I don't know how. I'm pretty sure it didn't have that when I first ordered it, or I just looked past it. But I thought it was going to be a different deal, like sinking deal, and it's not. This would be really, really good on a shaky head if you're looking for a shaky head bait, because it is really buoyant. Yeah. Did not work weightless. So, yeah, read
the buoyancy of the Yum Dingers is why I bought one pack and didn't like them, because I can't fish them the way I like to fish stick baits. So
they don't fall as hard or fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
definitely a slower sink. Yeah. Let's see. So we got plastics. Let's see. Craws and creatures. So this was something I was going to bring up too. All the 13 fishing stuff is super cheap. From the few of them that I've used, I used a couple. Dizzle had some and used them, and I liked them. But yeah, with the reels and all this stuff going on, like clearance, I was wondering, like, what's going to happen with that? I don't know. Here's one I wanted to buy. Where was it? It's a 4D craw bait. I got one in a monster bass box. I'm like, dang, these things, those look good as hell. Gambler stingers. I don't think I've ever thrown those. I know they've got Strike King stuff too, because I was looking. D-bombs on sale. They've got some like the Rage Bugs and stuff on sale. What is it? Savage? I think Savage Gear. Yeah, Savage Gear here. I wanted to try some of these. So I got the black one. I think they were all black in our monster bass box. Maybe not. Yeah, black and blue. But they have the craw, this magic craw, and this is ideal around here. Brown, kind of that rusty-ish color with blue on the claws and on the bottom.
That looks like the deal, the Z-Man's name for that.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, I really want to get some of these and try. Like, you could kind of tail hook it. I was thinking even like a wobble head, not like not a scrounger head, but like where it's like a shaky head where it's connected, but the ball moves and the hook moves freely. So you can like a biffle bug type hard head deal. I think those just look really, really good. So I don't know. I might end up picking some of those up. I started a cart earlier.
Hook sets are free, Tyler. He uses those Savage Gear 4D craws. So if you want to ask a question, I think he'd probably be able to help you out.
Okay. If he pops in, maybe we'll pick his brain. Yeah, like here, Rage Craws, Rage Bugs, the Scound Bug I've liked. So yeah, a bunch of good Strike King stuff. So you can kind of just peruse through that.
The little Rage Bugs, I was throwing those late summer last year on the core tackle hover rigs, just throwing it out into the current and waiting for the current to take it to where the slower water was and the smallmouth were waiting. And there was one spot where unfortunately I didn't get any big smallmouth, but it was every single drift the fish was biting it. So it was still fun.
Yeah, that's always fun, even if you're just catching small fish. Like, that's the thing too. Like, I kind of need to get on a rant here, I think. Daniel, Mr. Pedraza, becoming a member. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate all you members a lot. But I feel like Instagram and a lot of the social media stuff has kind of gone downhill. There's so much like griping about stuff, and like everybody has to be a hero, it seems like. And it's like all the big fish stuff has gotten even more wild. And it's like, I don't know, just have fun. Have fun with fishing. Who cares if you're catching giants? Go out, have a good time, enjoy yourself. Heck, not even catching sometimes. I still just have a great time being out there, so.
Yeah, I don't even care if I catch fish other than the intended species. I have a list of fish I want to catch that lots of other people think are trash fish, and they get upset if they find them. Last year, I finally caught my first freshwater drum. I was very excited. He took a little the teeny tiny Kitech jig. I had one of those on with a small plastic, and he sucked it up. And I set the hook. It was a light spinning rod set up, and the line just started going. And I thought, okay, I would really love to think that this is a 7-pound smallmouth in the river, but it's probably a drum. And sure enough, it was a 5-pound drum. They're so angry. I think that's fun, even if they're not the fish that you're trying to catch.
They are dream breakers because you hit one, you're like, oh my gosh, dude, this has to be a PB bass. This is like, oh no, I got drum. But the funny thing is like drum, it's a black drum, freshwater drum is the same thing as a red drum, right? Redfish fishing in Texas. That's so, same thing. It's a drum, but it's like one is a bucket list fish for people, and one's a trash fish that they'll just throw on the shore. So yeah, that stuff always kind of cracks me up. It's like,
my local river, we have over 90 different species in it, and not all of them are something that you can catch. There's a bunch of little darters and things, but muskie, pike, smallmouth, largemouth, bowfin, perch and bluegill and crappie find their way in. There's lots and lots in there. Plus, there's lots of angry trout. And one day last year, I was thinking that I was going to be catching pike and bass. First cast, I throw out a white and chartreuse mini max with a chartreuse twin tail young trailer on it, and pull it through the fast water, and it starts sinking into a slow pond, and this thing just shoots out from outside of the the vision provided to me by the clarity of the water, grabs it and tries to swim away. I set the hook, and it was moving around so fast that at first I thought I had found a smallish muskie, but instead it was a 24-inch rainbow trout.
Yeah,
That was a surprise, and that was fun.
Yeah, we don't. Well, we might have them out. I've never caught the big ones, but yeah, people like talk bad about stock trout and stuff. At the ponds. Our DNR does that around here. Like if you've got kids and stuff, man, it's a blast because they fight.
Yeah.
I started fishing for them. I don't know 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'd never done it ever, and yeah, they're a blast, man. Just fun mean little fish to catch. So
yes.
Like I was saying, the 13 fishing stuff they've got. Here's that regurgitated shad color that I absolutely love. I saw they had some of their crankbaits on sale too. There's some Strike Kings and stuff, so you'll just have to kind of look through some of these. They did have Booyah, some of the new Money Badgers on sale. The One Knocker and Hard Knocker, highly recommend those. But people were asking about those 13 fishing square. Oh, they also got the OGs on sale if you're looking for some flat sides, and the Chick Magnet also on sale, 43% off. But where is it? Their crankbaits I really like. They're kind of expensive here, but yeah, $5 now if you're looking to try them. If people have been looking at them, I've had really good luck. Couple really good days on. It is, which I don't even like talking about the color. Regurgitated shad, absolutely amazing, and then truffle butter. Whoever named it truffle butter. Oh my gosh! But yeah, that regurgitated shad is, beautiful. Yes, they've got some good crank. Yeah, interesting to see what happens with them. But so yeah, I figured we'd hit the sales here a little bit. I don't remember if there was any other big ones that stuck out. They did have some of the coverts, which I really like for spinner baits. They've got some nickels on here too somewhere, I think. Yeah, some nickels if you're looking at some of their pulsators. I think that was it for those. Frogs, I don't think had anything that really stuck out. They do have the pad crashers on sale. Used to be able to get those for like what, $4 a piece. Now they're $6, $7. Nothing else too crazy. Rage toads are good if you like the soft plastic toad to throw just by its own. And jigs. Oh gosh, yeah, there was a crap ton of jigs out here. Slobber knockers. Love them or hate them. I've liked them.
Randy Sully is very excited that the skitter lizard is on sale.
Oh yeah, one of the best baits in a while. Thunder crickets. They've got some of the old customs. I think those are going away now. But yeah, $4.48. They have a small hook though. They have a short shank hook on it, so you can't use like a real long plastic, which I like because it's more of like a compact profile. So for pond fishermen, bank anglers. Got the chatterbait elites on sale, probably moving out for some of the Evos and stuff. Bunch of jigs. I'm not going to go through all of it, but yeah, there's some good sales out here. Mobsters are 56% off. Sledgehammer, I've really liked those. And just the regular, I forget what the regular nickels is too. A number of years ago, that was one of my go-to kind of do-it-all jigs. So yeah, some good sales out here. What do we got for questions? Oh, I did see these earlier. This purple color come up on the page. Oh,
Debo
living rubber, some flat living rubber. Say less. I will say when I was looking at finesse jigs, the finance jig, skip it. Don't even try it. I've had multiple that have had rusted hooks and stuff. Just go to the War Eagle heavy finesse jig if you're looking at those. Yeah. Oh, here's the one that I've showed multiple times on here. Oh, sorry, everybody. People were asking about that one live, and it's these. 433, funny enough. Oh, they've only got one color. Oh, there's only 4 left. Well, never mind. That's not a good, but that's what it is. It's kind of a cool little bait.
Speaking of finesse jigs, have you ever thrown the Z-Man or any other brand finesse swim jigs? I bought a couple super tiny little swim jigs, throw them on the spinning equipment, and it was a lot of fun.
I'm not sure which ones those are.
If you look them up, you might find them. They're really small, 1/8.
Oh yeah, the finesse shroom TRD. Yes, I have.
Oh, these are actual swim jigs.
Oh.
They're really tiny swim jigs. I bought them thinking that it was going to be a mistake, but they were catching fish on days when they just didn't seem to want anything that was really big and fun.
I'll just scroll here real quick.
While you're looking, I'm just going to say thank you to Amira Frank for saying kind words about me in the chat. Mr. Frank Cornacchia. Us Franks have to stick together, Debo.
Yeah, he's our Boston guy, right, Frank, aren't you? Oh, this one's Z-Man Midwest Finesse.
Yeah,
no, I don't think I've used
these. 1/4, not 1/8. Yeah, they're really small. The 1/4 is the one that I got. Put the what do they call it? The smaller rage grub. I can't remember
like the
how big it is.
Ned grub.
Yeah, put that on and throw it out there. They're great for the river when I find slower water. They work well in the pond, on the spinning rod for Xavier when he's throwing out stuff, and it's catching on everything. But I think he might be able to catch a big one if he uses something with a little more presence. So it's been a lot of fun.
Interesting.
But they look so tiny.
Yeah, gosh, those are 5/32, 3/16. Daniel joined. He had to use a whole new email address, create a whole new email account to join. Daniel, thank you for going above and beyond to do that. I appreciate that, man. Awesome Ozzy said, does anybody throw floating worms anymore? Are you talking about like a trick worm, like a floating trick worm or a really slow sink trick worm? I don't. I'm not a huge fan of, like, there's people will rig weightless like craws and like creatures and stuff. That's honestly not really my deal. I don't really like, if I'm going to throw something like that, it'll just be probably a stick bait, to be honest. I'm kind of lazy, I guess, when it comes to that. But yeah, if they work for you, man.
Awesome. The one time I've thought about throwing the floating worm is when there's patches of grass and there's open areas and they're missing a frog. Instead of using a wacky worm or a Texas rig weightless Senko, I've thought about hooking up the floating worm, throwing it out there and giving it a couple little pops to see if they come for it. But I never get around to it because it doesn't cast particularly well, even on the spinning, for me at least. And because I'm often chucking it out into the middle to cover as much water as possible, it need the casting distance. So I always end up with Senkos or even shaky heads if there's enough space in between the grass.
Yeah, Owen was asking about the new 70. Yes, I will definitely be grabbing it. Will it be heads and tails different than the old one? I don't know. Maybe it's got the new MGL. What is it? 3-spool? Yeah, the new MGL 3-spool. Supposed to be their lightest, best one. So we'll see. It also has the silent tune, I noticed, which are the little rubber deals when I broke down the SLX and showed you all. But yeah, I'll definitely grab one, try it out. I think it's the diamond in the rough out of all the SLXs. I've liked that one the most.
Yeah, I was surprised when you said that the frame was the same size on the 150 and the 70.
Yep, that's really confusing too, because some companies, I've mistakenly used that back and forth. Some companies, when they talk about real size, like if you look at Daiwa, it's referring to the real size usually. So like a Daiwa, Tetula 150, 100. Some of them are referring to the spool though. So like those Shimano's, the SLX versus the 70, it's just referring to the spool size, smaller spool. Yeah. So it's kind of tough. That's the weird thing about fishing stuff, which confuses so many people. So I was thinking, okay, this will probably have to be a members live, but I was thinking, like, if I were to quit my day job and try to find a job in the fishing industry, because I would love to like work full-time fishing or like something that would work with you too, because it's so hard. You know, when I'm thinking about how can I make more videos, it's so hard to juggle when you have a full-time job and kids. Yeah. And so I was thinking, what would I do? Like, okay, let's say tomorrow somebody magically appeared and was like, okay, whatever fishing job you want, we can grant it. And I think it would be like a wired to fish type thing where like I'm consistently doing, real reviews, like showing you guys baits, like being able to do that stuff full time would be absolutely amazing. Being able to fish more, do more of that footage on the water. But the other thing I was thinking about was how fun would it be to be like not a personal shopper, I don't think would be the name, but like a personal consultant representative to try to help people, because I don't know how many times I would walk in Bass Pro and, any of the big places before, internet and stuff was big. And I would be so lost like if I would go down the treble hook aisle, like looking for new trebles, I would be like, I don't know what all these numbers are. And then you're looking at plastics and like, would this work around me? What's different? It's like even something like that would be fun where, oh, hey, DEBO'S customer service here. What are we looking for? Just helping people, I don't know. It sounds nerdy, but it's like, what can I do?
Well, the easy way to do that would be to open up your own tackle shop, but that's a tough business to get into.
That's cutthroat, man. I don't even want to try that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe we'll get on a members live. Maybe I'll do one here soon, and we can throw ideas around back and forth with Fish and friends. That'd be fun. Let's see. I did have some starred ones here. Jason, I'll answer yours, and I'll go back. I grabbed some before. Can anyone recommend me a casting rod, medium action for weightless flukes and weightless Senkos? Yeah, you can get away with a medium or a medium heavy that is more of a moderate fast, like when you're checking the tip. So this is something that people get wrong all the time. Even pros, like that's when I chuckle. Like when I talk about being like and I'm going to sound like an arrogant prick here, but talk about being like a tackle advisor, like helper, because it's not necessarily that these pros are wrong. They're wrong when they explain it, and they're wrong when they talk about a lot of the features of stuff. But obviously they're out there using it. They're pros. They're making their money fishing. They know. But when people are listening to it, they'll use stuff like flip flop and I don't know. But anyway, your power is how much power it actually takes to put a bend into that rod. The action is where the bend happens. Is it closer to the tip, or does it bend all the way over more toward the middle? So that's what I was meaning by a medium heavy. That's more of a moderate fast. It's just got more of a bendy tip. Recommendations for it? I don't know, man. These are the exact questions I get probably, I don't know, 2-3 a day. Questions like this on Instagram, reels, rods, stuff like this. And I always go down the line. What's your budget? Okay. Yeah. What are you normally doing? Bank, boat, kayak. What length do you normally prefer? What rods have you looked at? Do you already have a brand that you like? So it's so hard to troubleshoot, with folks on some of these, but I would say even if you have a good spinning combo, just a medium power or medium heavy spinning combo is great for weightless stuff. Don't think you have to throw it on a bait casting combo too. So don't have to get anything super crazy, but just a good tip so you can load it and throw the lures.
If I may make a suggestion for Jason, if you're looking for something budget minded, then the Daiwa Fuego in a medium I have used for a single fluke. For the double fluke rig, I always go up to my Tatula XT and the heavy. But if you want something that's more sensitive because you're going to do other things with it, then that probably wouldn't be the greatest choice. But if you're throwing something out there that they're going to crush and you don't want to spend a lot of money, the Fuego I think is a good choice for that.
Yeah, Daiwa Arid too. If you're looking for a good rod, the Arid rod definitely performs above its price. If you're Daiwa, if you like the Daiwa stuff. Patrick says you need to get your beard game going here, Frank. Come on.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. There's too much white in my beard now. It's my one of my great grandfathers was a ginger, and when I was younger, my hair, when I had hair, lots of red highlights. When I started growing a beard back in grade 6 or 7 or whatever it was, half of it was red, but all those red hairs turned white before all the others.
Pretty quick.
And now all the other ones are following it. It's like,
mine do that too. I'm getting quite a bit of the salt and pepper in the braid now. I'm looking, I guess, what distinguished they call it.
Yeah, I have too much salt, not enough pepper.
Fat guy says, what's the number of packs or soft plastics or crankbaits you keep as stock? That is a great question. If it's something I throw a lot, like let's say Lil Dipper and Shiner, or the Skinny Dipper or Little Dipper, either one of those, I'll keep like 5 or 6. Like if I find a good sale, that's the thing for me is when I find good sales on stuff, I'll buy multiple. The tough part is when you have like a couple of it and then you go out that day and lose them and you're like, why didn't I have more? And then you get in the whole thing of, well, you end up with boxes and stuff back there. It's like, oh, I didn't even know I bought these. I would say at least like 2 or 3 is usual for me. If it's something that I really throw a lot, like what else? What's the other one? I'm trying to think of. The X Zone. When I had the X Zones, I really like those. I bought like 4 or 5 of them. The paddle tails. D-bombs. I've got a crap ton of D-bombs. Things that you kind of burn through, stick baits, those kind of things. But if you're looking at Z-Man stuff like Ned rigs, heck, a bag of Ned rigs can last, I don't know how long time.
I still have ones that have one or two left in them that I've had for 4 years when it comes to the Z-Man stuff. And the only reason why I have only one or two in the pack left is because I've broken off getting stuck in rocks on the bottom of the river that I'm trying to fish.
Yep. Kirk says, how do you like the Helgramite? Helgramites are awesome. I like the new one from Yum.
I wish I could get those at my local tackle shop. I don't really like buying online unless it's absolutely something that they cannot get. I usually just ask them, hey, can you get me these? And if the answer is a definite no, then that's when I'll shop online. But I use the Nico ones.
Yep, those are good too. HD Tackle also has some. They have some bigger ones. I ended up getting rid of those. Whoops. Because both time I used those, I used them on the Tokyo rig, and both time I caught stuff on it, it was a snapping turtle. So if you want to catch snapping turtles, throw those big HD Helgramites. They look cool in the water. They're larger. They're like, I want to say 5 inches. Yeah, kind of a cool one. But yeah, they work. Definitely are a cool little bait to throw around.
One of my favorite videos is when you had that snapping turtle up on the bank. You were trying to get him unhooked, and he was all angry and charging at you.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. That was I've told the story, but Dizzle and I were fishing at a spillway once, and there was this old feller who ended up catching a snapping turtle and was just over there cursing. He had a net with him and got it up in the net and was just all pissed off over there trying to get it off with his fingers. And I'm like, we're fishing, and like out of the corner of our eyes, we're watching. I'm like, oh my god, dude, this dude's gonna lose a finger because he's like no pliers or anything, just trying. Oh damn it, I'm trying to get it out of the thing. Then ends up rolling it over, and it was quite comical.
The only time I have hooked a snapping turtle was with a tiny little ice jig that was floating underneath a bobber for sorry, I'm going to silence my phone. Floating it under a bobber for panfish before bass season opened, and I threw it shallow, and I had too much length of line underneath the bobber, so I start reeling it in, and I thought, oh man, I'm snagged on a log, and then the log started swimming. It's like, oh no, it's a turtle. And it took me 10 or 15 minutes to reel him in. There was just way too much line out to cut it and leave it in the poor turtle's foot. And I was supposed to be going to pick up Xavier from school. It was the worst possible timing. Finally get it in, and I'm reaching down
and threw it in the back of the car.
That would be good if it weren't for the fact that I'd get in trouble for that. And I'm reaching over the side of the kayak with the pliers, and just as I do that, the hook finally straightens out and he swims away.
Yeah, that's always a scary thing when you get them up there. You're like, oh no, oh dear, what's going to happen here? Yeah, I don't ever cut it and leave it. I'm always going to try, especially since I'm recording, because it's like one of two things going to happen. I'm going to get it off, and it'll be interesting for people to watch, or two, it'll end up taking off a finger, and that'll be perfect for a video because I can hold it, be like, oh, almost died, snapping turtle, lost a finger, ambulance called. I can finally have a viral video go crazy for me. Cisco, yes, there are Terminator spinnerbaits on there. Terminators have been very hit and miss because they have different lines. So there's like the T titanium, which are the best and are really good. I've used some of the lower end, which is like the steel or something. I don't remember how they all rank. You'd have to go look, but I got a batch of them a while back that run like absolute crap in the cheaper ones. So honestly, I haven't thrown them lately, but yeah, they do have different tiers of the wire.
I throw the new ones and I like them.
I know a lot of people like them.
Yeah, before we get away from this, seeing Cisco reminds me, if you can go back to 8:03 your time and star his comment, I think that'd be a good talking point for later on. From Cisco Amaro. He asked a question at 8:03 Central.
Let's see. William, while I'm looking for this one, 13 plastics are expensive, but the Googies, $3. Yeah, I think they were on sale in Tackle Warehouse too, which I'm surprised. After Scott Martin put a whooping on him down at Okeechobee, I think he was using the Bandito bug. I don't know what color, but yeah, man, they work. A lot of people around here really, really like them. You know, I give Guggen crap, but you know, it was a Dizzle thing. But yeah, I don't have anything against the guys. I mean, they're hardworking. That's the thing, and we've talked about that too. We should have a night of just tangents where I just talk tangent stuff. But yeah, people are just jealous of them because of what they did in the industry, and they were trying to get sponsors early in the day. People were turning them away and laughing at them. So like, well, screw y'all, we'll make our own. And look how rich they are all now. So let's see. So yeah, they are good. Oh yeah. Also talk about the old Uncle Josh pork trailers. They also have Picasso has some on there too. Yeah, Omnia has 25% off Z-Man right now. Absolutely. They've been having some good sales. Let's see. 803. I think I'm not seeing it. Hey, where is it? I don't see it. What was the question? Let's just talk about it.
Oh, okay. He was asking
here.
If you
goes right under. Do you lean more to spinning gear over bait caster during the pre-spawn spring? Yeah, we can talk about that. I'll get the Rev Roast ready here and show you, because there will be a giveaway a little after an hour. I picked up one. I actually got this one from American Legacy, but I see that Tackle Warehouse has it on sale too. I wanted a couple other things from American Legacy. I don't know. Did they still have that sale going on? They actually had like 20% off on a bunch of crap. Let me look real quick. American open house. Yeah, I saw they had an open house. I saw some of Gramps' pictures. I don't think they're 20% off anymore. That stinks. Oh, they do. Used gear. I don't see the code for regular stuff. They had like a code. 20% off used gear, though. I helped a couple people. We're looking at some used gear for them. Yeah, I don't see it. But anyway, they had Brent Ayler there, Gramps, and the Freedom Squad was there hanging out. So that was pretty cool to see them all kicking it at American Legacy. But okay, so spinning gear over baitcaster. I really don't have a time, I guess, where I would say. I generally lean toward my baitcasters. They're more comfortable for me to fish. Now, I'm not one of these that's going to call it a fairy rod or a sissy stick, all that people talk about, fairy wand or whatever. I will throw spinning all day, every day, if that's what's catching fish. I have no disregard to fish finesse stuff. So I don't really have a time. But so like pre-spawn's a good example. So let's say pre-spawn, what are some pre-spawn lures you throw? Lipless, jerk bait, a jig, finesse jig, Ned rig. Just kind of a thing for me. The colder the water is, the slower I'm going to go. So I will say that I will start out with a Ned rig a lot in the spring, just because with the cold water, you can throw it slow. But yeah, it just kind of depends. I mean, spinnerbait, slow roll and a spinnerbait, but I wouldn't say one over the other. And don't let people, that's another thing, just like social media, don't let these dumbasses, sorry for cussing, but these people that are like, oh, if you use this side reel, you're an idiot. This is the right, or if you use bait casters, don't use spinning, or if you use a wacky rig, you don't. Shut up. Just do your own thing and have fun. That's what fishing is. So anyway, and I did also I forgot I got some reels down here. This is the one I'll be giving away tonight. $35. I thought, man, this would be a good reel to give away. And I've actually got, so the Laguna is the cheapest, I think, one from Daiwa that I've got, $40, and I've really liked it. I think this is like a $75 reel. I got the 2500, I think. Is that right? Where the hell does it say it? Yeah, 2500 size. It's pretty dang smooth.
Yeah, they're a good reel. I have several of those in the 1000 size for my my light and ultralight rods.
Yeah, and the RG is one above it. Dad and I got those on sale at Gander Mountain. Take a drink. They were a doorbuster deal for like $30, I think.
Speaking of drink, I'm going to get one. I shall return.
Go for it. Okay. So that's what we'll be giving away tonight. I figure we'll show some love to the spinning reel folks out there, but I would not buy one of these if I didn't think it would be a good one. I've not used that one, but I've used all the ones above and below. Just like some of these, if we're talking about kind of that price point, go up to $100. The Fuego has been an absolute workhorse for me. Never had any issues with mine. 3,000, usually 2,500 or 3,000 size is what I use. 3,000 mostly. The bigger the spool is, that's something you can look at too. A lot of times, if you're looking at spinning reels, the frame and stuff will be the same size, but they'll have a bigger spool. The larger the spool is as you're reeling in line, the faster it's going to be for a retrieve too. So that's kind of something to think about as you're looking at them. You might see a 2,000 size that's a 5.6 speed, 3,000 is a 5.6 speed. But if you look at inches per turn, this one's taking in 2, 3, 4 inches more or whatever. So keep that in mind if you're fishing like a Ned rig or something where you're just moving it with the rod and you just want to take up line with your reel. What else? So yeah, the Daiwas I've really liked. I've also got quite a few of the Shimanos. The oldest one is the one they don't make anymore. I forget which one that one is. But some of the newer ones, this is the $75, the Sedona. I didn't even get a line it up yet at the end of the year, but that's going to be a good one. Really like theirs. The Nasi or Noski is like their $100. I do have some of the Miravels. Those are probably my more expensive. I do have the Tatula, whatever it is, the $200 one. But I'm telling you guys, you really don't need to go that expensive. This was one I really liked, the Sahara. This one I beat the snot out of. This was the one I caught that like 5.5 pounder on when I went up to Minnesota on that monster bass video. It was pretty fun. But yeah, I mean, any of these around there, $70, $80, you're going to get a really good spinning reel if you go braid to a leader. And that's something that people always ask me is why? What's the deal with braid to a leader? Kind of like we talked about before, you've got the sensitivity of the braid. If you need it to float, you can just cut off your leader, or you can put a mono leader on. You want it to sink, you've got the fluorocarbon on it, and it gives you that invisibility. Usually 8 pound is my starting. If I'm around thicker stuff, anywhere where I'm kind of iffy or wooden stuff, I'll bump up to 10 pounds. I personally don't go down to 6 anymore. I don't like to mess with breaking off, and from the bank, it's a whole different deal. Can I catch them on 2-3 pound line? Absolutely. From a boat, when I'm not around stuff. I do it on ice fishing all the time. But once when you're on the bank and you've got wood and rock, things that are all around that can break your line, I would rather go a little bit heavier than break off on fish, because that is my most hated thing. I hate breaking off on a fish. So, all right, let's get into more questions. Yeah, bubblegum floating worm or a merthiolate worm, big around spawn for some reason. I don't know if it's a color thing or if it's just their aggression, but it's been a number of years ago that Mark Daniels, if you watch that MLF, they were down. What year was that? They were down in Texas. I don't remember what lake they were on, but he just absolutely crushed it on a floating merthiolate worm. And they were talking about, man, that's an old school thing. You don't see guys doing that anymore. So that was cool to watch. And it was like 2 spots. He just kind of kept going back and forth between 2 spots in this little cutback. And it was just new fish reloading, new fish coming through there. A lot of the other guys were fishing beds and stuff and spending 45 minutes on one fish, and he's just hammering them out there on that cut. So that's always fun. But yeah, I don't throw a floating trick worm, really.
I really wish that I could do some pre-spawn fishing at some point. This year, actually make it a chance in the lower Niagara River for smallmouth, because Lake Ontario and the lower Niagara have the early catch and release season, which ends in enough time for them to really start building their beds. But I would love to be able to go to any body of water and try some pre-spawn fishing. I don't think I'd bother with the bed fishing, but I definitely want to be able to catch them legally and show off with pictures for the gram on the fish when they start to
do it for the gram. Yeah, one of my favorites is, I say that too. Like I'll throw a couple casts, and Dizzle has gone behind me, I don't know how many times, on bedfish and just whoop my butt. But there was one time we were fishing with, oh my gosh, Matt, our buddy Matt, who we finally met. He used to be big on Instagram when we would talk. He was in Iowa, just south of me. But we went down to a lake in southern Iowa, and the biggest bedfish I've ever seen. I threw a few at it. It had to have been 8-9 pounds, like biggest fish I've ever seen, for sure. Bass on a bed. Couldn't get it to bite. Couldn't get it. I spent like 30 minutes. I'm like, dude, it's not biting. He spent like 45 minutes on it. Couldn't get it to bite. It's like biggest bass I have ever seen. It was awesome.
The one thing I like about spawn is that I know that soon I'll be able to actually catch the fish. But while I'm walking around the ponds catching pike or panfish, if it's during the pike spawn, I get to just watch the fish, and it's a lot of fun when you see them in a foot or two of water and they're chasing away everything that comes near. Mm-hmm. I actually got to see last year a bass grab a bluegill sideways, like it T-boned it when it got too close to the bed, swim away, spit it out, and then go back to the bed.
Yeah, they're mean, man. They're not messing around. Grumpy's just upgraded to a 7 bait caster spinning reel paired with ALX rods, Cajun rods. I don't know them. Due to weather, I've yet to get them out. Cool, man. I have not looked at any of the 7 stuff. I saw them come out. So they're the offshoot of St. Croix. So St. Croix rods, their reel company is 7 reels. Had a couple people ask me about them, but I haven't really looked into them a ton. I wouldn't be opposed to trying one though. Like I said, you don't know till you try it. So,
who was just asking about reel suggestions for ultralight? It was the start comment.
Oh yeah, I did have that up, didn't I? Yeah. I don't know who that was. Yeah, what I was going to say on that. Sorry, thanks for keeping me in line here. What I would say is just because you have an ultralight setup, don't think that you have to go with like a 500 or 1,000 size reel. Those things really can be a pain in the butt trying to cast them because the spool's so small. You'll get line ripples and line kinks easy. I think anyway, personally. I think you're better off bumping up and at least starting with like a 2,000 or 2,500 size, even on an ultralight. That's me, but look at guys like Fish Everything, Ethan, the Burley guys are getting into that stuff more, maybe pick their brains. I don't know what size those guys use, but I know I've tried a couple of the real small ones on like my trout stuff, and it's just a pain in the butt. So
I'm trying to remember which braid it was that I actually didn't have that curly problem with, but typically I am using the fire line from Berkeley so that I don't have to change it going into or coming out of ice season, because those 1,000 size reels that I have, I just swap them onto the ice rods instead of buying more reels. And it's stiffer because it's fused, so it ends up with the curls. And the other thing about a small spool is that you will find that if you have a bait that casts really well, you're going to get down to your backing or almost to the knot.
Down to the backing.
You got to be careful about that.
You must have had spool speed bearings in there. That's why. We joke with Scott. I saw he was at some shows. Man, there's been a lot of shows. That's something I'd like to do too, is be able to travel to like shows and do meetups and stuff. But yeah, Scott was a guy that I met, spool speed bearings. I've never had him on. We should see. Have I? No, we did. I had him on a live.
Yes, you did.
Some time ago. Yeah, good dude. He was one of the most personable guys there at the booths. Cause I had a couple booths where I was like a pain in their ass, like just asking a couple questions. They were like, I don't know. Like, what's your job to like talk to people here? Like, I don't know. But he was like, yeah, pick up some, try them. So yeah, he was a cool guy. I saw he's been doing the shows and stuff. But that's what we always joke about is his videos on Instagram. He show be like, okay, here's this reel with the blah 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 bearings in it. Check it out. Goes down to the back and he's like, there you go, down to the back. And
the personalities that you run into at some of the fishing shows, the stories that I've heard at least, leave something to be desired, especially if they are pros who don't really want to be there.
Oh yeah. You can tell some of the dudes are so into themselves. It's pretty fun.
Wes, he's going to be at the CanCast fishing show in April, and he and I were joking. I said, "Hey, I'll help you set up the booth. Xavier can help too, because he's always helping me put things back at the local tackle shop that other customers have left in the wrong spot." He saw me doing it. Now he does it every time we go. And I said, Heather can work the booth too. She can just take a pack of baits and say to people, listen, if I can catch fish on these, so can you.
You can do it too. I'm not only.
Of course, she didn't think it was as funny when I told her that. But, yeah.
What was the Hair Club for Men? I'm not only
the president. I'm not only the president. I'm also a
member. I'm not only a member. I'm also a user, or something like that.
Yeah, one of the two.
Dating myself here.
Nico, I'm not just the president. I'm also a client.
Oh, okay.
I think that's it.
Let's see what else we got. Man, chat's buzzing. We've got 269 folks in here watching on a Saturday night. Super fun. I love doing these. Always look forward to chatting with you all. Let's see, which is critical gravy, which is better, gravy and biscuits or biscuits and gravy? I thought about.
I hasn't asked that question in a long time. It used to be a statement from critical.
Yeah, there was English kids trying like across the big pond from England, English kids trying biscuits and gravy, and it was funny because they're like, I've never seen this. What is this stuff? They liked it.
I also have never had it because it's not really a thing up here.
Frank, come on. What are you doing, buddy?
The last time I was on your side
some
of the
biscuits and
border
gravy.
was
You don't need to be on my
32.
side. Okay, here's the question. Do you have biscuits up there? Yes. Do you have sausage? Yes. Make some sausage, make some white gravy, make some biscuits, and throw it over it.
All right.
Report back to me. You need to try that this week and report back.
I don't think I'll get to it this week. It's more of a sometime in 2024 it'll happen.
Jeez. Oh wow, the Tactical Bass guys swear by the Rev Roast. Well, if they do, it must be a damn good reel then. Those guys know a thing or two about fishing. Let's see. People talking about some of the Googie stuff. Yes, Googie does make some good things. Strike King designed the Rage Bug after Scott Martin had made the design of the. Yeah. The Rage Bug is just a copy of the Bandito Bug. No, sarcasm. Let's see. Yes, anglers oftentimes overcomplicate things. Yep, keep it simple. Well, somebody's already got the hashtag spinning in there. That's what it was going to be later. Change that. Yeah, Frank drinking energy drinks at 8:30 at night, 9:30 at night.
9:30 for me.
What else we got? Hit us with your questions, folks. What do we have? Any other spinning reel questions? I don't know. I didn't really have a bunch of stuff ready for it. I was just we were gonna go off on spinning reel talk because oftentimes people say, "Man, you only talk about bait casters. Where's the spinning reel love?" I like spinning reels. Yeah, I agree. Daiwa sub 100 spinning. Yeah, for what I do, maybe if you're a pro where every single tiny fish counts in your tournament, I could justify spending 2, 3, 4, 500. But for what I do is just some dummy out fishing, having fun. I think the up to $100 are doing me perfectly fine. Ooh, Fatty caught my new PB yesterday on a red lip with 7.12. Good work, man. Is that a Bass Fishing HQ hat? No, this is Retro Bassin, kicking some ass and wearing a rayon jacket. If you guys and gals haven't checked out Retro, he is a kick arson channel.
He was on Window Fishing's stream this week.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I hit him up. That's interesting.
Was it? No, it was with Hellabass, not Wendell.
Oh.
Who was he on with? Damn it.
I wanted to have him on.
No,
it was with box, but
it was with Hella. Yeah.
He never got back to me, so I don't know. Maybe he don't like me.
Maybe he just missed it because everyone likes Debo.
Yeah, I definitely have some people that do not like me. That's okay.
Whatever. Are they
can't please everyone?
They're probably aliens. Small
Daiwa eliminated. They could be, dude. Aliens are real. I'm 100% convinced. It's a game of numbers. Daiwa Eliminator is incredibly smooth, little weight, but makes the Fuego feel cheap and clunky. Wow. Is it a full aluminum, like saltwater type? I don't know what the Eliminator is. I guess we could go look here. Gosh dang, I just had something in my head I was going to say when I read that. Oh, the Daiwa BG is supposed to be another really good one. I think it's more of like the aluminum, because the deal with a lot of, some of those reels at the $100 price point, instead of like being all aluminum, like the Fuego, even the Tatulas is that, like, I forget what material that is, some sort of carbon fiber, whatever, to make it lighter. Oh, Ethan uses 1,000 size. Yeah, that's interesting. See, everybody's different, I mean, there's not a wrong way to do it. Fishing 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 in fishing, just kind of my preference. What was I going to do? Oh, the Daiwa Eliminator. Spinning Daiwa. How much is the Eliminator? Exceller. Exist Eliminator. Oh, that's $100. So I'm guessing, is that part of the full aluminum or whatever? Yep. Signature hard body aluminum frame and side plate. Yeah. So if you're fishing big stuff, that's another thing too to keep in mind is I've been in conversations with people who have used like $70 bait $70 spinning reels. And they're like, well, I was catching 20-pound redfish and it broke it. Well, it's like, yeah, if you're using a graphite frame reel, like I'm talking bass fishing for 2 to 5, 6, pound bass. If you're catching 25-pound fish, like, yeah, look for an aluminum frame reel. Look for something more, saltwater inshore, something that's going to fit that more. kind of the same thing for bait casters. Like a lot of people will get, what the hell's going on? A lot of people will buy a $40 bait caster and be like, well, my Coroto's better. This didn't hold up. Yeah, you can't really compare apples to oranges on, a lot of that stuff. So you kind of have to keep in mind if your budget's $50, it's going to be different than buying a $200 reel. Sometimes there's some that, you bump up to $100 and they can do you just fine. But I don't know where I was going with that. Again, another spin-off rant here. We need to have a rant.
Tangents.
Yeah, rant tangent. MKR Reptile says he used the thousands. Yeah. So see, maybe I'm an outlier here. What is that? I can't tell what that is. Is that a snake? I'm a huge reptile fan. Used to own 4 snakes.
Yes, looks like a snake.
Oh, did have his own. Okay, yeah. Scott gave a discount. He's a nice cat. I like Scott. Let's see. Any bets for the Super Bowl? Got to go Niners for sure. Not a Chiefs fan. George Kittle and Brock Purdy, both Iowa boys, so got to support them. Let's see. What else do we have? Is it just me or does Cigar line suck? It depends. What line are you talking about? Cigar and Vizex, I think, is kind of the how do you say it? The
Premier
line to not premier, the line to measure by. Like if somebody's just going to throw out what's a good line,
benchmark?
I think. Yeah, kind of the benchmark. Cigar and Vizex. It's not super pricey. It's not the budget. Just kind of middle of the line. I used to like the red label, right? Red label. That's a little bit more expensive now, and it does have memory to it. Some of the fluorocarbons are going to have more memory than others, but no, I think Cigar makes good line. I did hear that the Basics, is that their new budget one? From multiple people, including myself, had some breakoff issues. Starting out, it was pretty good, but I did have breakoffs later. So I would say if you're going to start with Cigar, go to the red label and up. And it's not that much more expensive. I think the Basics is $9 and the red label is like $13 now. We can check here, I guess. Seeger. Not to be confused with Bob Seeger. Oh, $15. It's gone up more than I thought. Yeah, the Basics, is their new $9. Yeah, it's got quite a bit of memory to it. And I didn't think it was as strong. So I would say start here. Wow, see, this one even has 2 trash. Oh my gosh, it got a trash review. No matter what knot you tie. I literally tied my knot on. What? This guy went to the anonymous, won't even put his name. I literally tied my knot underwater and it still got friction burn. Old boy put on the scuba suit to tie it and still broke on him. Yeah, I don't. It's funny because I did a review on a Bass Pro Shop box. It was like a lure box. I don't know, a few years ago, and it was like I was reading comments under it, and one of them's like Guggen's better, and like the person had horrible spelling. Googen and Gogan, and it was funny, but the title of the video was like don't trust reviews. I don't remember what it was, but somebody, like, I read a comment the other day, they were like, oh, this guy's an idiot, it says don't trust the reviews in it, but he's doing a review on this box. And I'm like, I just replied, I'm like, for some people it's hard to pick up on sarcasm, huh? So, yeah, I don't, some people crack me up out there.
I didn't have very good luck casting wise with the Invisex. It was not as supple as I was led to believe it would be. Not that it was wiry, not like
it's not horrible, but it's not a super smooth fluorocarbon. No,
the FC Sniper was a better choice for me for things where distance and suppleness are what I'm after.
Yeah. That's why I like the P-Line Tactical. The Sniper is a good one. I've actually even had really good luck with the more budget. I was talking about that on a Hella Live some time ago, and he's like, really? I think that one sucked compared to some of the higher priced P-Line or Sunlines that he likes. Like I think it was the Sniper. Oh, the Super Fluorocarbon, which is actually really not that cheap anymore. But again, I got a whole bunch of it on sale at Gander Mountain for like $4. And I really liked it. And it's their more budget version of, what is it? A 200 yard is, $17. So that's not even that cheap. But yeah, I liked it. I got I think 17 and 20 pound. And for that size line, I was I was very happy with it. But yeah, so they've got
anyone
like
who
the
is
sniper.
go ahead. Sorry, Debo.
Sorry, I was just going to say like the sniper. This is the one that like most people will put as kind of a gold standard of really good line too. But
Any
again,
line that you use, I find gets better if you use the KVD line conditioner. I was really worried when I bought my first bottle that it was just going to be snake oil, but I could not believe the difference. Completely.
Yeah, it does. It does, and I just never remember to put it on after the first use, so it's basically useless for me.
I carry around a bottle.
I need to. Yeah, that's dumb of me not to. But yeah, when you take it out the first day after putting it on the night before and like spraying all that on there, you're like, wow, it's really smooth. This does make a difference. 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, this line is not as smooth. What am I doing?
For anyone who is going to try the KVD line conditioner, make sure that the first time you're putting it on, you let it cure overnight. If you spray it on and then go and use it right away, it's just going to wash off. It needs that initial coat. And if you need to fish it sooner than several hours later, the only way I found that it works is to have a fan blowing on it, which is also how I dry my clothes in a hurry that don't go in the dryer. Put a fan on.
Or you spray it on all your reels on the way to the fishing spot. You just hold your reels out the door.
That would be a really good idea too.
Yeah.
You are a smart man, Debo. I like that.
I mean, hey, $1 million idea. Awesome Aussie Cat. Can you trust somebody who hasn't had biscuits and gravy? I know. I forgot to mention this will be Frank's last appearance here. So Frank, it's been nice having you on, but since you don't know what biscuits and gravy are, we're gonna have to discontinue you. So
well, if you guys tell me that poutine is widespread and everyone has tried it in the States, then
dude, poutine is so good. And actually I just saw somebody recommended a place and they had like regular poutine, then they had Korean poutine, which was
did
like
it have kimchi on it or something?
Kimchi, bulgogi, the Kewpie mayo, which is like Japanese mayo, and then I forget what the red bean paste is, gochujang. Oh my god, dude, I'm a huge. We had one girl that worked with my wife was from South Korea. She moved over here when she was like 16 or something, I don't know, 17, whatever. And her and her husband we were friends with, and oh my god, her cooking was out of this world. I quickly became a South Korean cooking connoisseur / fan very, very quickly. Okay.
Heather is probably upstairs. She's either not paying attention or she's holding back from saying that's not poutine. Heather's a purist.
Yes, yeah, I know. Our version of poutine, the gravy cheese and so okay, what's the best size for bank fishing? It really depends, man. Again, that's going to come down to personal preference. Kind of the things I was talking about earlier. Sometimes the difference between 2,500 and a 3,000 size, the actual frame itself will be smaller. So you'll save on size or save on weight because of the actual size. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes a 2,000 and even a 3,000 share the same frame size. This and your spool or your bail, rotor, all that is the same size. It just has a bigger spool. So sometimes it's just going to be a line amount that you're getting. But keep in mind, the larger the spool, the more line it's going to take in per turn. So if you're throwing something where you want like a true 5-speed, like if you're casting paddle tails or something and reeling it, maybe you want the smaller size over like a 3,000 that has a larger spool where you're going to take up more line, like if you're fishing a Ned rig or something like that. That's really getting into the weeds on it, but I wouldn't say there's a best size. It really just kind of depends. But yeah, just because the size is bigger doesn't always mean the reel itself, the frame and stuff, is going to be smaller or bigger.
Debo, we skipped over a question. I want to drag you backwards for a second. Somebody was asking about the cat's going to step on the laptop. Somebody was asking about the best $100-ish ultralight spinning rod, 6 foot or 7 foot. My answer to that is I really like the Daiwa Procyon. If you don't like a split grip, then that one won't be the one for you because that one has a split cork grip on it. It's inexpensive. The feel on it is good. I'm sure anything that you buy from one of the big manufacturers is probably going to feel pretty good in the 6 or 7 foot ultralight at $100-ish because that's a good price point for not going too far into into wallet sucking, but also having the sensitivity, and it'll cast well and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I was just going to go here, just kind of to go off that. Some of the $50 to $100 rods. So I figure, let's just look at some of the best sellers. Oh, they've only got 4. These are all ones that I would recommend that I've used. The Arid X, awesome. If you can bump up to 100, I really like the XTs. Dobbin's Fury, one of the best $100-ish for both casting and spinning. They're $129. They used to be $99. They had to raise the price, or $109. But yeah, all those are good. I'm trying to think what else for other spinning rods that I've used at that price. How else does this break it down? This has clearance. Gosh, yeah, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. What are some others in that range that I've used? Oh, the Bass X. I really like the Bass X. I'm interested to see how the new one will be. I bought a casting version of it. I didn't buy the spinning version this time. What the hell? No, not search. Because before, and they've got these on sale, and I don't know if they fix these later on. I got one very early. I really liked the rod. The problem was where it tightens here. This foam piece, like I like a very low profile spinning rod. Like I like my hand to be very close to the blank. I don't like when they have like a big lump up here or anything. But this, where you tighten the reel seat in, this would over tighten and click. So you'd be like, you get it almost tight, then it would just go where it was stripped. So if you have that happen, I don't know if they fix that on the later ones, but if you ever have that happen on a spinning or casting rod, just put a run of electrical tape over it, and that will bind up those threads that are still good as you tighten it up and can lock it in. Now, you can't keep taking your reel off and putting other things on, so it's kind of like once you get it on there and tight, just leave it. But that is one fix for that in case that happens. I've had a number of rods do that where the reel nut will get to a certain part and you're like, oh, it's going to be tight, and then you've already stripped it. So, okay, let's get our giveaway rolling here. We've got 281 awesome people still watching, which is super cool. Oh, I was going to see if do they have the new ones out? Oh, that's what I was going to ask if they did it. So yeah, they must have fixed it for this one because they've still got the same connection thing. But yeah, I really like the Bass X rods too.
Justin James, I'm going to answer your question really quickly. Yes. He was asking if the Shimano Corrado 201 HG is a good reel.
Yep. The Corrados are kind of the benchmark. If you're looking for like $150, $200 reel, they're kind of the benchmark in that price. Let's see if it picks up this. Oh, it didn't. I got you all. I like the people that try to guess it early. Let me see. Stop sharing that one. We'll do a share on this one. Okay. So for tonight's giveaway, if you're just joining, I am giving away a Daiwa Revros 2500 size, both left or right hand. If you're new to spinning reels, you can switch the and actually let's check this. That's another thing too that people will talk about when you get into spinning reels. If it's a direct connect where that screws in, that's not. Or if it's I forget what they call it, bolt through or handle through design. So the difference is, and this is something you can kind of look at, generally they're going to be a smoother reel. If you get one of the handles that actually screws in, so this handle, when you put it into the gear, it actually screws in the main gear and you turn the handle and that's what screws it in, versus a type like this, where if you can see this is a screw. This is how you'd switch the sides. You put this screw in and this screw actually screws into your handle. So this handle piece is like a block. It's like a square piece that fits through the square piece in the gear. So there can be just a little tiny bit of play in them. I don't really notice it. Some people are very, I guess, sticklers on it. If it's not a direct screw in, direct connect, I don't want it. So that's something to look at too. Maybe if you really, really, really want, like, I would say that would be good for those where you're, fighting those bigger fish. Like we were talking about those aluminum frame reels where it's a direct connect directly to the gear. But for this, I have plenty of these like this. It will be no issue at all. So giving away a spinning reel, and also I will throw some lures in for you. This will be a good little box of fun stuff. #spin if you would like to be entered. Jason
Remember
Emery.
that you must be present to win. If you're Canadian, tough beans.
Yes. Yeah. Not tough beans. I will hook you up with an Omnia gift card because I can actually
No.
buy
Tough
those.
beans is okay because I'm not entering.
Oh, okay. Well, for everybody else, Frank, we gotta be fair here.
Okay.
I could be a prick and just be like, yeah, my giveaways are only only in the lower 48. But I'll hook you up. I'll get like a $50 Omnia card to you. Yeah, must be present to win that, and then you'll have to email me. But anyway, Jason, yeah, for sure, mine is the Alberto knot, my braid 2 leader. It does have kind of a little. You have to be really careful when you cut the tag in because that piece can stick out and can hit the tip of your guide as you cast. Oops, sorry. FG knot is definitely thinner, probably the best one, but it's a pain in the butt to tie, I think. So I don't mess with it.
I've been using the FG knot, but if I am out on the bank and I need to tie on a new leader, I won't do the FG because it's just a pain in the neck to try and tie when it's windy, and I don't have my magnifying glass because I'm getting old. So out on the bank, I use the Alberto knot because it's fast, and when I'm at home, I can tie the FG knot quickly now. Well, reasonably quickly, but
20
like I
minutes
said,
is all?
I use my magnifying glass so I can keep an eye on the on the knot and make sure it's actually coming together.
Yeah, Hammer, I feel really stupid for not saying this. I completely agree. Probably the most important thing on a spinning reel is a good smooth drag. I do feel dumb for not bringing this up because that was on my list of things to look at when I talk about things that I look at for a reel. Yes, so thank you for doing that, even though we're an hour 16 into the stream. Yeah, you got to find one with a good drag. And most of them nowadays, I will say, I feel like that's really come a long ways. You're not getting like the old. What would happen with a lot of the drags back in the days? You get those cheap felt ones. So if you would tighten your drag down too far on a bait caster, it would squash it. Even before that, it used to just be all metal. So they didn't even have like some of the composites and stuff. They didn't work as well. Then they got into like that fabric-y type stuff. And then some of the lues and stuff even had like that plastic type that kind of sucked. But a lot of them now, man, they've got they'll call it like multi something where they put both the aluminum washers or whatever they made it of, plus the composite stuff. Carbon fiber is really the best. But I would say it's come leaps and bounds on drag, I think.
My last generation Fuego, I really like the drag when a fish is pulling it out, but it could be a little inconsistent with how much the drag changes with the same number of clicks on the knob on top. I fixed that by following somebody's advice and replacing the stock drag washers with carbon fiber washers, and it became a lot more consistent. I could expect the same change for the same number of clicks. It made it much better.
Yeah, what will actually happen is as dirt and stuff, and a lot of the spinning reels. So that's something to think about too. If you're, I mean, we could talk all day on this. If you're fishing in places like around here, I really don't fish a lot of sand. If you're doing like inshore stuff or things where sand, they'll have some of them where it's like a completely 100% sealed. Like, I don't know what this one looks like, but it'll have like a rubber thing up top where your drag and like the spool and everything is all 100% completely sealed, where some of them don't. Yeah, this one has a little bit there. You can tell in there, but some will have like a really big rubber piece and it talks about. So it kind of depends. I don't, I'm not fishing crazy, insane places, so I don't really deal with that a ton, but I guess that'd be a little out of my wheelhouse for inshore stuff. But Mike, yeah, usually 10, 12, or 15 is my go-to. 10 is the best. Yeah, the lighter. But if I'm around wood and stuff or anywhere where I think it could be a little bit more sketchy, I just go with 15-pound main and then go to like a 10-pound leader. You can even go up to 12 if you needed. I've done that before too. Throwing like weightless stuff around wood.
I use a lot of 6 and 8, and then leader will be anywhere from 4 to 8. But I also use 10 on about half of them. So for me, it's a little from column A, a little from column B. But I definitely will be careful about where I'm throwing the baits if I have 6 or 8 pound line on.
Travis, when do I not use it? I mean, I prefer it on all of them. I tested it out last year I tried a copolymer on the Abu Garcia Revo SX spinning reel, which I've really liked. But I didn't realize that reel normally was $170. I didn't pay that for it, but really good reel. A little bit more expensive though. But that one I tried a copolymer, and just the wind knots. Frank and I were talking before about wind knots. The way the spinning reel takes up line, you're way more apt to get that twist and knot, especially if drag is going out. One thing you never want to do is try to reel against drag too much. So if like the fish is taking drag, just let it go, but you're not wanting to like go against it too much, because you'll get twists. Of course, certain lures will give you more twist. But yeah, I just find it's so much easier to deal with. The other thing about going braid to a leader is you could always put a shorter leader if you wanted, and just have that be a swivel there. If you don't want to learn connection knots, you can just do a little tiny swivel between your braid and leader and not worry about learning a connection knot. Just obviously you can't have that go up into your line guide. So that's why I say make it shorter. But
there are some ridiculously tiny 20-pound strength swivels that get used for steelhead fishing and stuff. You'll be able to find them in the section where they have fly fishing stuff if you go to your local shop. But I'm talking super tiny. Those you could actually send through your guides, although it'll eventually damage them. But if you go too far on one cast, it's not going to stop your cast. You just have to be careful for the sake of longevity.
Yep. Let's see, Chris. We've only got 157 people entered, 304 people watching. Free spinning reel, giving away a spinning reel, 2,500 Revros, some lures. Let's get that up. There should be like 190 entered. Come on.
There was a question. Sorry, there was a question a little while ago. Somebody was asking, other than frog fishing, when do you go braid directly to your lure? For me, the answer is when I break off the leader and I couldn't be bothered to retie it, and the water is muddy enough that I don't need to worry. The rest of the time, I'm putting that leader on.
Yeah, really muddy water, you can get away with it. Or if you're fishing really dense vegetation, like pads and stuff, or really thick grass, I don't think it matters because, it's got everything else around it.
Yeah. Stocked trout ponds are probably another one where you could get away with it. If you're taking the kids to a stocked pond for trout fishing, they will eat pretty much anything. So I'm going to imagine that they will, that they'll still bite something that's attached directly to braid.
Yeah, I think I was using like 4-pound fire line on mine, the white stuff. Yeah, and I never tied a leader with that for the trout stuff. Yeah. What baits and gear are looking most forward to this year? I want to throw the Evo more. I want to test the Evo chatterbait to see if, is it as jackhammery as everybody says, or is it not? Is it a big miss? I don't know. I don't know what. That's a good question. That might be another live coming up here once some more stuff comes out. Maybe we talk about things we're more excited for.
For me, I'm looking forward to trying all the big baits that I have, and also going completely the opposite way and trying lots of super tiny stuff. I have the ultralight poppers from Rapala, and those are a lot of fun, but I don't use them as much as I think I could. And one of the modifications I'm going to make this year, I'm going to get some super tiny trebles and have somebody dress them with a feather for me. And I'm going to put that on the back because every time I fish them and there's lots of panfish around, they come up and the little buggers will bite at the bait in between the stupid trebles. So I never get those big pumpkin seeds that come up tentatively and look at it because they can see me standing over top of them. But I bet you if I had a feathered treble on the back of that tiny little ultralight popper, they'd probably bite that, and then game on.
Hold on. AM asked, do you still fish the Z-Man micro jig? I haven't in a while, but I did have a lot of good luck on it. It was what do they call it? The Z-Man Finesse Tiny Shroom jig. And it's a real small one. I throw it on, I want to say 3/16th. Is it or an 8th? We can look here real quick. 168 people in there. We need 2 more. We got to be at least 170. I'm not giving it away. I'm just going to tease you all, not even do if we don't get to 170. 2 more. Hashtag spin. Get entered. And I'll give it away. Then I'll look here real quick. Let me see what those were for size. Because, yes, actually starting out, that was the first fish I caught was on that a number of years back. It's like a 4.5 pounder. My first fish of the year was awesome. So if anybody's wondering if you want a micro spinning, like one you throw on a spinning combo,
there are some other things that I'm excited about throwing for pike in a little bit here. There's a guy in Winnipeg who does custom lure painting, and I have a bunch of his lipless baits now. I have this one that looks like Bullet Bill. I really like this guy, and can't remember what he calls this color. Something about candy sprinkles. I don't know.
Sorry, I wasn't looking there.
Oh,
is it Element Customs?
That's right. You know him.
Dude, he is awesome.
Yeah.
He sent me, I did an unboxing. He sent me stuff. He is as nice as they can be. Does amazing work. If you are looking for one-off lipless, absolutely. And I think actually, funny enough, I didn't realize this. My Monster Bass box came. Look what came in it.
Excellent.
He is in the Monster. That's freaking awesome. Yeah. As nice as can be. Element Custom Baits. If y'all haven't heard of him, look him up.
5 of diamonds.
Nice guy.
You like this one, Debo?
Does amazing work. I do. But still, my favorite's the purple and chartreuse, like lightning one. Yeah. Did you get that one?
No.
You didn't even get the best color,
available.
Frank.
Well, if it's not available, I can't get it. So,
well, hit him up. Tell him that's the best color. Yeah. So this is what you're asking
Debo
about.
says this is the best.
Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, 1/8 is what I was throwing in these. I really like those. Yeah. Okay, do we have our 170? Oh, 174. Okay, let's do a giveaway here. Let me stop that one. I will. It's not the right button.
Gigantic Debo.
Okay, let's do a share here, and we're on. Okay, let's grab a winner. Who's it going to be? Then we'll answer a few more questions, and then we will get out of here because I'm hungry. I need to get some food. I saw Critical Grave. Joshua Simonson, Corey Stout. I think that's another new person. I don't think I've ever seen Corey's name on here, have we? Corey Stout, as I look behind me on the board. Yeah, Corey, that's good. Okay, Corey, are you here? First off, you have to be here. I'm going to have to jump ahead. Sorry, everybody. If you had a good question, we'll get to it here and answer.
I'll keep an eye out for it as well. Although last time I missed it. Corey Stout says, I'm here. Thanks. 903.
Okay. Somebody said he's here. Where did I say he's here? Corey.
903.
Boom, I'm here. Okay, so Corey, send me an email, debosfishing@gmail.com with a screenshot of your YouTube so I know that it is you and where to send it. And I will hook you up with a reel and some lures. All right, so what else we got for questions? Let's take a couple more questions before we get out of here. A couple fun ones. Can be anything. Can be lures, spinning reels, breakfast. We want to do that. Whatever y'all got.
Philip Cheek wanted me to say out and about for him and Carol. It's I don't know a single Canadian who says oot and a boot, and I don't know where you guys got that from.
When you just said it before, that was what it sounded like to me. You said oot and boot.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got? What else we got for questions, y'all? No. Don't see any questions there.
Saltwater bite in Iowa, Fat Guy Bassin is on fire, right, Debo?
Yes, saltwater inshore here has been really good the past couple of years.
I think this is the second time that Dual Dude is asking this question. A-rig tips for a pond from the bank, not much structure. And the first time he asked it, he said sand bottom. My tip is just throw it. One of the things that the tactical bassin guys say to do is every once in a while give it a pump, because when you do that, if the wire in your A-rig is supple enough, everything comes in a bit and then goes out, and it looks like your school of bait fish are scattering, and the fish that's following is probably going to think that it's been found out and needs to get on them right away. So make your make your own action if there's no structure to take advantage of, nothing to bump it into.
Good call. Good call.
That's for all lures.
Yep. Jim, this or that day of only catching bass or on multi-species day. That depends what the multi-species day is. If it's a day of bass and pike, oh my gosh, I love pike, especially topwater pike. So underrated. They're so fun. They dolphin out of the water. They're mean. They got teeth.
Debo, when you go topwater fishing, either for pike or when they just happen to be in the area, do your pike have bad aim when it comes to the topwater?
Horrible. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. It's not just ours.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're just so merciless when it comes to eating and killing things. They just splash up and horrible aim. Absolutely.
Yeah. Every spring, when I'm waiting for bass season to open, I will go places that I know the pike are at, and I throw out the come here, cat. I throw out the walking baits, the poppers, not so much the frogs, but anything with treble hooks. And even if I'm going slow, they miss it half the time. Last year, I think I only caught 2 pike for the whole year, but I saw lots of them going completely airborne, like a great white shark going after seals. But there was no lure in their face because they missed it because they suck.
Just in crazy blow-ups, and they're so fun. Victor, how often do I eat gas station hot dogs? I don't know the last time I ate a gas station hot dog. I will say that anytime you go to a ballpark or like when I go watch the Hawks play basketball, oh my gosh, one of their hot dogs and the steam buns, delicious. But I'm not a gas station hot dog guy. I do eat gas station biscuits and gravy and breakfast pizza.
Yeah. I'm going to go fishing with you one day, Debo, and we'll go and get some gas station biscuits and gravy on the way.
Perfect. Sounds like a date to me.
All right.
Let's see. What else? Let's do. Oh, I got one more.
If I ever win the lottery, the first thing I'm doing is buying an RV and touring around and going fishing with all my internet friends I've never met.
That would be fun. That'd be fun as hell. I would love to do that as well. Just travel around.
Yeah.
Okay, Travis, we're in and on you, buddy. What's your go-to soothe the soul food or beverage when you skunk? That's a great question. I don't say that I have a go-to. I don't know. Do you, Frank? Do you have a go-to when you skunk? I don't.
Oh, if I skunk and I need my soul soothed, my stomach will probably be churning from the anger, and I won't be able to eat or drink anyway. Most of the time, I'm okay with being skunked, but every once in a while, when I'm convinced I'm going to catch and I don't, I'm going home. I'm like Eric Cartman. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I will say that pretty much any time I'm done fishing, I am not opposed to stopping and getting food for the drive home. I always look forward to that because I'm always hungry as hell because I forget to bring enough food. So it's like either gas station or McDonald's or something on the way and have food for the drive home so I'm not hangry. So, all right. Well, listen, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all had fun. We'll be back next Saturday. I don't know what we'll be talking about. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll line up some guests. I don't know. But listen, love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Go football stuff, sports tomorrow. And
sports ball,
Sports ball. Go, everyone. Be safe. Love y'all. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.